the course of NASCAR history, thousands of drivers have come and gone through the sport. Of those thousands of drivers, only a handful of them ever have been in the conversation of all-time greats. And everyone who watches the sport seems to have an opinion to throw into the mix. I am no different. But I also have come to another, less popular conclusion. There actually is no definitive answer for who the greatest driver in NASCAR ever is. Yeah, I know it's kind of a cop-out, but again, hear me out. Now, the main point that truly makes sense is that NASCAR's greatest drivers all raced in different eras. Unlike other sports leagues, NASCAR has had massive changes in technology and how individual races as well as championships are decided. These kinds of differences are more pronounced in NASCAR than other leagues such as the NFL, MLB, or NBA. The cars today are much faster than those in the 90s and 2000s, as well as much safer. But also with the cars from the 60s and 70s when Petty dominated, they didn't have many of the technological advances that drivers now have. Now we're going to focus on 3 drivers. Whether you agree or not that they're the best is irrelevant in this. These have been the ones that the mainstream media and people in NASCAR discuss as the greatest ever. Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, and Jimmie Johnson. All of these drivers are tied with 7 championships. Firstly, with Richard Petty, the sport was run in a much different way than it is today. Petty had more money than any other team to spend on equipment, and it showed on the track. Petty also had different systems to win the championship with that included a consistent Winston format, a format that stressed more money earned for points, and a system that stressed more laps completed for points. Earnhardt, on the other hand, had a consistent Winston Cup format for all 7 of his championships. But unlike Petty and Johnson, though, Earnhardt had 4 crew chiefs and 2 teams he ran under. Johnson, on the other hand, has won in 4 different iterations of the chase, as well as winning 5 straight championships from 2006 to 2010. When it comes to their championships, the 3 drivers are incomparable. Another large aspect of drivers being in different eras is their competition. For me, there would be a few different ways to judge the competition. Those who competed against them for championships, as well as all-time greats they raced against in that time as well. For Richard Petty, he raced against drivers for the championship such as Ned Jarrett, James Hilton, Bobby Allison, Dave Marcus, and Darrell Waltrip. He also raced against all-time greats such as Cale Yarborough and David Pearson. As for Earnhardt, Earnhardt raced for championships against Cale Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, and Rusty Wallace. He also raced against greats like Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, Tim Richmond, Terry Labonte, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Gordon. Now Jimmie Johnson. Johnson won championships in battles against drivers like Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Mark Martin, Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch. This while all racing against greats like Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, and more. So what does this all say once again? Once again, it says that these drivers are both all-time greats and that they're tough to compare because their competition is both so good and so different against them. They also raced in different kinds of schedules. Petty raced in schedules ranging between 28 to 62 races. Earnhardt raced in a time when the series ran between 29 and 34 races, while Johnson has always raced in a time where the schedule has been 36 races long. And while I compare just these 3 drivers, these comparisons and points apply to any all-time great driver when you compare them, whether it's Johnson and Gordon, Gordon and Earnhardt, Tony Stewart and Rusty Wallace, Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon, or Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt. So there's no way to definitively say who is the best ever, just opinion. But what do you think? Let me know down below. And while you're at it, like and subscribe for more videos, and hit the notification bell to never miss another one. And until next time, have a good one. And Earnhardt's the best ever.